Ladies and gentlemen, the most obvious and the most inevitable thing that we all knew was eventually going to happen in WWE has now officially happened. It was never a matter of if, it was always a matter of when. And yes, I am talking about WWE finally taking WrestleMania outside of the United States and Canada, and they have officially announced that WrestleMania 43 will be taking place in none other than London, United Kingdom. Just kidding. Psych, you fool. How could you ever believe that? Of course, it's going to Saudi Arabia in 2027. And I have some thoughts that I want to share with you all, so let's talk about it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And you already know, if the daily wrestling content here isn't enough, consider checking out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, you're going to get so much more extra content that we can never upload here because it would just get blocked due to copyright, like the Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews that use real footage. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's talk about the greatest, biggest news that WWE has ever unveiled. So WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia is maybe like the world's worst kept secret, mostly because I think everybody that follows wrestling closely in any way, shape, or form probably saw this coming a million miles away. Let's not forget that Saudi Arabia already has the Royal Rumble here in 2026, and they already have like 3 to 4 WWE premium live events every single year. And if you can believe it, the relationship between WWE and Saudi Arabia is already almost 7 years old at this point. So again, I state this was always inevitable, but I will say this feels like it's coming a little bit faster than I was expecting. I was assuming that we were going to get a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia maybe at 45, 46, 47, considering WWE has been in talks with the likes of London and a myriad of other cities. Hell, they gave WrestleMania to New Orleans and then yoinked it away last minute. So the name of Saudi Arabia wasn't one that I was thinking about until a few years down the line, but here we are. It's WrestleMania 43 in 2027, where we're going to be getting it in Saudi Arabia. What's funny is that WWE couldn't even keep this secret tied down, considering that the news of WWE taking WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia was already leaked by Saudi Arabia themselves, basically. So we had Turkey Al Sheikh, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, 2 days ago, basically leaked that WrestleMania is going to be going to Saudi Arabia in 2027. Now, we hadn't heard it from the dog's mouth themselves, WWE. So a lot of people were like, this isn't confirmed. This isn't certain. Maybe this won't be the case. But this man right here, Turkey Al Sheikh, is a very influential figure within sports in Saudi Arabia and events and entertainment in Saudi Arabia. So when he said it, I instantly knew, like, this isn't the meme. This isn't miscommunication. This is 100% happening. We then had a word from Triple H on Twitter saying that we're going to be making a huge announcement on WWE's YouTube channel Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I told you that we'd change the game, and we're just getting started. And obviously, you can see from the replies, like, people immediately already assumed that it was going to be Saudi WrestleMania. I don't think that this caught anybody off guard. Now, where I did begin to get interested in this announcement, because I was going to skip it overall because, again, I just sort of assumed it was going to be announcing Saudi WrestleMania. I'm like, I think I can skip this. I can just get this in an email. Was this tweet from WWE shortly before the live stream, which was 30-minute countdown. Tune in live at 3 p.m. Eastern for a special announcement featuring Triple H, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, and Charlotte Flair. When I saw all of those names, I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance that this is not the announcement of Saudi WrestleMania, and maybe this will actually be worth tuning into. Oh boy, was I sorely mistaken, because it really was just the announcement of Saudi WrestleMania. But damn it, I wasn't gonna miss the live stream, because once they announced all of these big names to be a part of it, there was like a part of my brain that's like, okay, there's like a 99% chance that this is just the announcement of Saudi WrestleMania. Or maybe there's like a 1% chance that they announce something crazy. Maybe they announced that they're buying TNA. Maybe they're announcing that they're bringing back WWE ice cream bars. Maybe, I don't know, WWE is going to become a professional Beyblade organization. Anything. I was tuning in for that 1% just in case it did end up being something something crazy. And a lot of you did, because there were 58,000 people at one point just waiting for the live stream. I'm sure it probably got over 100,000 viewers live concurrent at some point. My live stream alone had like 3,000 people watching concurrently as well. But alas, it was none of the super cool, exciting stuff. It really was just WWE basically being forced to announce this, considering the cat was out of the bag. The news had already leaked. And by the way, like, part of the reason why I thought that this announcement might be something different as opposed to just announcing what was already leaked with WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia was because this isn't normal. Like, it's not normal for WWE to do a press conference near 2 years away from a show to announce that the show is going to happen in a certain place. Hell, sometimes they do it in less than a year. Brother, WrestlePalooza took like a month between announcing it, selling tickets, and it finally happening. So announcing a WWE premium live event 2 years in advance is not in the regular rule book that WWE tends to follow. That's part of the reason why I thought there might be a chance that they might announce something else. Now, for me, I have an immediate myriad of different questions. So we have WrestleMania 43. They numbered it. They numbered it WrestleMania 43. So that removes much of the speculation that was going around that there was going to be 2 WrestleManias in 2027, and that one of them would be the greatest WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, similarly to what they did, I think, what was it, 2018, with having a regular Royal Rumble and then the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. So if there is 2 WrestleManias in that year, it will be 43 and 44 all happening in the same year. Me personally, I think WWE should just start coining different party phrases and adding wrestle in front of it. We already have WrestleMania. We already have WrestlePalooza. Give me a Wrestle Bonanza at this point. Now, the announcement did straight up say WrestleMania Saudi Arabia in 2027. We don't know what time of the year it will be. We now know that WWE is willing to be a little bit more fast and loose with the dates of WrestleMania, with it being sometimes in March, sometimes in early April, sometimes in mid-April. So I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't a conventional WrestleMania time and date. But yeah, like I said, this isn't normal. To trot out this many huge names to make an announcement for a WWE premium live event 2 years in advance is very much out of the norm. Like, they really brought some of the biggest heavy hitters that they had out there. They had Triple H come out there as well. He was side by side with Turkey, as we'd mentioned already. They handed the mic to a couple of people as well. Like, The Undertaker got to talk for a little bit. Bianca Belair got to talk for a little bit. But for the most part, everyone there just sort of stood there randomly and doing nothing, just sort of being there in the background. Like, ooh, look, we're all excited for Saudi WrestleMania. Okay, so now I want to dig a little bit deeper into all of this, because WWE was paid a hefty amount by Saudi Arabia to take WrestleMania away from North America and into Saudi Arabia. I want to take that statement a little bit further. Saudi Arabia paid a ton of money, not just to take WrestleMania away from North America, but to take WrestleMania away from Las Vegas. Very few cities, organizations, entities can outbid the city of Las Vegas, a city that bleeds and breathes on cash. Hell, we're talking about a Las Vegas that was bidding so much money for WrestleMania that they got it 2 years in a row, something that hasn't happened before. Not only has that not happened before, but they took the second WrestleMania away from a city that had already previously won a bid for that WrestleMania. So that should tell you that Las Vegas was sending out a crap butt ton of money to WWE to get WrestleMania. So for Vegas to get outbid for WrestleMania 43 by Saudi Arabia, the amount of money, the difference that Saudi must have offered must have been staggering. It's almost as if WWE is going down the course of like big match boxing. Like every single major boxing bout basically only takes place in two places. It takes place in Las Vegas or it takes place in Saudi Arabia at this point. Like there's no other cities getting major boxing bouts at this point. It's just those two cities winning bids and being the host for all of the biggest boxing bouts. And I'm concerned that that's where we're going with WrestleMania, because we've already proven and seen that the dollar is going to talk. The biggest bid is what's going to get WrestleMania. Las Vegas managed to do it 2 years in a row. We're now going to Saudi Arabia. Who the heck is going to outbid Saudi Arabia? I literally think the answer is nobody. Please watch, like, and subscribe to this channel. Maybe we'll be able to outbid them someday. So what I'm saying is that I think that WrestleMania will either basically be exclusive to Saudi Arabia moving forward, because TKO WWE is just chasing the biggest bid. There will not be a bigger bid than whatever Saudi Arabia decides to send WWE's way. Either that, or they're just going to become boxing and go between Saudi Arabia and Las Vegas with WrestleMania back and forth as they ping pong the biggest entertainment event of the year back and forth between each other. London isn't going to outbid them. Hell, London won't even bid for anything. London is in a place where they're just like, hey, we're not going to bid for this. You come to us. We don't come to you. Clearly, New Orleans has no chance. They got outbid for a WrestleMania that they already won a bid for. Then that leaves other cities like the Philadelphias, New Yorks, Los Angeleses of the world. They're not going to be able to outbid Las Vegas and Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania, I think, could be exclusive to these two venues moving forward. And obviously that's great if you like going to Las Vegas, which I'm not one of those people. I don't like Las Vegas. And this is great if you live in the Middle East or live in Saudi Arabia. This is going to be amazing for you as well. I'm actually really happy for my Saudi viewers. I have a lot of people from Saudi Arabia and from countries that neighbor Saudi Arabia that watch this channel. I'm sure you guys are pumped, but there are a lot of people online that are just straight up pissed about this decision. And many of the concerns that people have about WWE in Saudi Arabia is the sports washing, the issues over women's rights and what the women are going to be wearing for WrestleMania. Will women ever be able to main event WrestleMania? Like, there's a lot of very, very serious concerns that people have that are entirely completely fair, if you ask me. But here's the thing. They're fair, but they don't care. What I've learned over the last couple of months is that they're just chasing the biggest bid. They are chasing the dollar. You thought that they would be concerned about the PR of Brock Lesnar returning? They didn't. They literally did not care. They did not care. They brought him back. You think that they're going to be concerned about the PR of this? They do not care, because they are going to be paid so much money to not care, because all they care about is the bid. The biggest bid, what is going to give them the most amount of money, is where they're going to go. And that is the era of WWE that we're in. We're in the TKO era. A lot of people want to call this the Triple H era because the booking and the matches have been getting better. But from a business perspective, this is the TKO era, the era where everything is motivated not by fan sentiment, not by PR, not by optics, but by money. That is purely and almost exclusively what they're chasing here. Now, when it comes to WrestleMania happening in Saudi Arabia, let's talk about some benefits. Obviously, if you live on that side of the world, huge benefit for you, because now you're going to be getting a primetime WrestleMania in your time zone. But it's not the end of the world for me and for North American viewers, because now you get it at like the afternoon. An afternoon WrestleMania ain't that bad, honestly. I just watched AEW All In the afternoon, and that was honestly a pretty awesome experience. It was nice to not have to be up super late watching wrestling. So to me, that's actually a little bit of a benefit, but mostly because I'm an old person that wants to get to bed at a semi-reasonable time. So having an afternoon WrestleMania while the Saudi people get it in their version of prime time, to me, that's a W. The other win here is certainly, maybe, actually, no, this is entirely speculating. I almost said certainly, pricing. WWE has priced out so many fans. Like, they just had TKO talk about how Vince McMahon was pricing tickets way too low, that he was focusing on making it a family-friendly environment so that kids and full families could attend these shows, and that they weren't maximizing opportunity, fancy word for profits. So we can assume that ticket prices are going to continue to skyrocket. Here's what you might not know. Ticket prices in Saudi Arabia are significantly lower than they are in North America, like by magnitudes of a lot. Now, will that be the case for WrestleMania? I don't think so, considering that shows that are happening in Saudi Arabia right now aren't the types of shows that mass WWE fans would travel for, like the Crown Jewels, Night of Champions, that type of stuff. But WrestleMania is a different beast. You will have people from Europe, from North America, Australia, Asian countries travel to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania. So because of that, they might continue to increase and have the regular ridiculous ticket prices with $45,000 to be in like the 5th row. But maybe they continue to keep conventional pricing that they have in Saudi Arabia, and maybe WrestleMania tickets will actually be affordable. I do think that that's wishful thinking, but I just want to throw that out as a possibility, because Saudi Arabian shows from attending it like live in person are significantly cheaper than attending like a WrestlePalooza. The other question that I have is just in general about WrestleMania weekend, like how it's structured, because typically we have like Friday Night SmackDown, and then immediately after the Hall of Fame, and then the next morning we have NXT Stand and Deliver, and then the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Well, what do you do here, right? Like, when do you add NXT Stand and Deliver? Is there no NXT Stand and Deliver? Is NXT Stand and Deliver going to happen maybe after night 1 of WrestleMania, but it maybe happens stateside so that you can watch night 1 of WrestleMania and then tune in to Stand and Deliver maybe happening in Los Angeles? Like, that might be a solution, but like, this does kind of make me question the overall structure of WrestleMania weekend in general, because it's throwing it for a complete loop. It's just not what we're going to be accustomed to. In general, overall, because I always thought this was inevitable, maybe my body was a little bit more prepped for it, so I'm not as initially angry and as upset as I thought I would be, mostly because I always kind of assumed that this is the path that they were going to go down. If anything, I'm just simply just not surprised. The only surprise that I'm taking away from this is how quickly they've turned around on this. But yeah, folks, the most non-news news of all time in WWE has happened. The thing you already knew was going to happen. WWE WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia, something that was leaked, something that you all expected. I will say, Triple H, you lied. That tweet about, hey, this is going to change the game. This is going to change and revolutionize. It didn't do anything. It just, this could have been an email, man. All right, folks, we'll leave it there. I know a little bit of a different video. This was really like completely off the cuff. No script, no planning. I just wanted to talk and share my thoughts on everything going on here with WrestleMania and in Saudi Arabia. Like, I'm really curious what other city could even attempt to outbid Riyadh, Jeddah, or Las Vegas for WrestleMania. I don't think any. Like, genuinely, I don't think any's capable of outbidding these two. Okay, that's it. Goodbye. I'm done. Get out of here.